Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the PAPAJO show where PAPAJO knows. I am your host, PAPAJO, and I am joined by the one, the only Bitcoin Ben. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Papa Joe? How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. Busy as always, trying to kick ass and take names, man. That's just the way it works, right?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Trying to keep up with you somehow.
Oh, there is no keeping up with me. Hell, I can't even keep up with me.
Well, that's all the more reason to try, right? Well, cool, dude. I wanted to have you on to talk about a whole bunch of different things, but first of all, you and I haven't caught up in a while. How's business going? What you doing with the laptops and all that fun stuff? You got that, and you got
Oh,
a whole your shows and everything.
rocking and rolling. I mean, we have Calyx Solutions with the laptops, and we're actually gonna be adding on a few services and a few products here soon. And so that's with Calyx. Then we have the show. The show's always growing bigger uh, on like Amazon and Roku. Uh, we're really getting a lot of viewership over there. Uh, and there's a lot more people watching the show on like regular TV and uh, YouTube is, as you know, this is actually like my third or fourth channel on
Yeah,
on YouTube. So it
it get hit every once in a while. I'm in warning zone already right now with this channel. That's why we do the Patreons though. It allows you to take the gloves off and have fun and really try to, and you know, actually talk about stuff.
exactly, and then we have the founders group, uh, and we just opened our office in El Salvador,
Very cool.
and we are opening our office in Miami in the next few months. And we just worked out a deal where we're going to open an office in New Jersey and
Okay, cool.
also in Colorado. So
Good old Colorado.
it's crazy busy, but very profitable. Very um, it's the only real entrepreneurial environment that is healthy right now is cryptos. I've I I've tried explaining to people over and over again that you know if you want to launch a company, you do it in cryptos. You do it with if you are a blockchain coder, which I know that's like your freaking wheelhouse.
I'm not a coder, but I know the people in that space and can have conversations with them and say, I need this built in this way and whatnot, and they
Yeah,
actually know what they're doing with it. So yeah, I don't like coding. I just don't like it. But yeah, no, you're not wrong. Standing up a business in crypto is where it's at, and that's something that I've talked to the show here a couple times and other people directly. That's where the talent's going now. The talent, the coders, the engineers,
and
whether
they're
you're a software
getting
engineer.
paid.
Oh yeah,
They are.
oh yeah,
Trust me, I know they're getting paid.
yeah, very much so. And then different spaces and that like other like enterprises, like they're really starting to look at crypto and they're going, there's no talent pool in this space that have any experience. So they're taking the DevOps guys and the automation engineers, things like that, and they're saying, hey, can y'all figure this out? And a lot of them are saying no, and then some people are like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And then when they do, those guys are basically writing their own tickets. It
Yep.
is, if you are at all in any enterprise and your company is trying to pursue blockchain technology in any way, whether it's to solve one thing or to completely revamp your entire supply chain, whatever. Those you guys and gals, if you're doing that, heck, go start a company and then subcontract out for the enterprise. You'll make more money
Yeah.
doing it, and you'll get the
It,
tax
it's
advantages.
it uh, just and I've always thought you would be great at this. Just open up a a corporate advising company on blockchain.
I kind of did. That's
It
what Aster is actually.
yeah, and if you have the relationships to actually like get your foot in the door of some of these like corporations, it it's they don't know what they don't know, and they
Right,
don't know anything.
right. Especially in this space, they have people like the Microsofts, the IBMs, and whatnot. That's what they're used to dealing with, like or the Cisco's or the what's the stupid SAPs, that stuff. They've
Yeah,
all tried doing their own little blockchains or whatever, but they don't even know what they're doing with it. And they're trying to.
no,
They're. It's just not even. It's hilarious. Some of the stuff that I've seen, some of those organizations build. They're supposed to be blockchain technology, but they're inside a single cluster inside of a single data center. It's like, do you understand the concept of what this
yeah,
means? And they're like, well, it's this. I'm like, no, it needs to be everywhere.
they how I explain it and how I've actually sold it to a lot of these corporations. It I was in a Zoom call yesterday or the day before with a board of directors of a Fortune 500 company, and I, as soon as we got going, I said, "Look, the first thing you guys have to do is throw everything that you know away. Throw it all away."
100%.
I said, what you guys need to understand is that what we're transitioning into is your clients are no longer your clients. Your clients are your partners.
Yep. 100%. Or your vendors, they're your partners. It
Right.
becomes a
You
mutual
have
relationship.
right. You have to understand that the applications, the interacting applications that you build have to be structured so that your clients, as they interact with the uh, the application, they understand they're running a node. That's
Right.
basically what they're doing.
Right.
So that it is a distributed ledger
Right. It has to be
amongst
everywhere.
amongst the participants of the organization. And they're like, well, then how do we keep it safe? And I
It's
said,
built
well,
in. It's built in.
yeah. And, and I looked at that one guy or who actually said that, and I go, now, are you saying safety as in honesty, or are you saying safety as in safe for your corporate manipulation?
What is the answer? What do you say?
And he paused and he goes, I don't know.
He didn't even say. He didn't. Wow. Wow. That's
And
not the answer you want to
right,
that.
I said, see, what you guys are used to is being able to
Yep. finagle
fudge it a little
numbers,
bit,
yeah, yep,
you know,
different
give it a
numbers where you want. Yep,
little
little bit.
tweak here,
Yep, yep.
little tweak there. I said, you guys are either gonna fail or you're gonna be honest.
It's gonna force
There
the
is
honesty, man. So
no,
some of the stuff that I've built in and played with and done, I have to be very careful with what I say because at this point, I have to be very careful. So some of the stuff that I have been a part of doing, um, that is something that has been learned. That it was a learning process for people involved. It was like, oh, we can't say y'all bought this when you didn't anymore, or we
yeah,
can't, we can't we can't say we shipped this. Oh, you asked us for that. No, no, you can't say that anymore. There's not all. It's not paper anymore. It's on a blockchain. It's automated. There's a smart contract that's saying this is the decision you need to make because y'all did this, this, and this, and both parties are going, well, crap. Okay, it's
yeah.
forcing that. It's forcing a relationship between the vendors and the retailers and whoever else, and it's forcing that honesty and almost like partnership in that thing. That's kind of where you were saying earlier, the vendor, whoever is involved in any kind of merchant relationship, they're just as responsible now. They're just as vested, so to speak, in making sure that this is right. And it's forcing that ecosystem of, well, it's forcing that from a relationship standpoint between businesses, but it's also forcing an automation piece to where there's no human error or very little human error because they're still building and stuff, right? So once those pieces are built out, the human error goes away.
I usually phrase it like this. I say, imagine you and your wife sharing the same memory.
That is a very interesting way to put that. And that actually makes so much sense because, yeah, that's. Yep.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what it's like because it's everywhere and yet nowhere and it's
exactly.
transparent.
Every
Yeah.
memory you have, your wife has at the exact same time.
That's not a good thing in any way for anybody. And there's a
Right,
reason why God separated those out, right? There's a reason why. You don't want
right.
their memories and they don't want your it just yep.
I said, but it's at a corporate level. I
Yep.
said, so if you want honest partners, guess what you got to be? An
Correct.
honest partner.
Yep.
And and when I shape it like that, they're like, I don't know if blockchain's good or bad. And I go, it's all from your point of view. I
Pretty
said,
soon
but
they're not gonna have a choice. Pretty soon if
bingo.
you're a retailer, if you're a vendor, if you're any merchant of any kind, if you're supply chain, if you're medical, whatever, it doesn't matter. Really soon, somebody somewhere is going to decide to do blockchain, and they're going to say,
Yep.
"Well, you can't do business with us unless you do this." And then people are going to start being forced to do. It's going to spread like wildfire. And the thing is that once somebody does that, and they force somebody else to do it, and that other person who's apprehensive to doing it, they start doing it, and they get a taste of it, and they're like, "Holy cow, we don't want to not do this." And there's
Yeah,
so many benefits to doing it because of the automation, the transparency, everything around it. People are going, "Yep, this is another layer of the internet, another adoption phase of technology."
exact. That I have been saying for 25 years since I, hell, longer than that. Well, I haven't been saying it, but yeah, I've actually been like verbally saying it for 25 years. The internet would lead to an environment where no one can lie.
Precisely. And we're in the end blockchain, I think, gives that to everyone. And that's kind of, we talk about the stuff happening in the world right now where all the inflation and everything's going on. And you and I have talked one on one in the past where, where the Federal Reserve sits there and they want to go and ratchet up the interest rates to try to absorb the money that they just printed. Well, they just printed 80% of the current monetary supply and for US dollars. In 2 years' time, from 1913 to 2020, they printed 20% in circulation. And that was a problem before 2020
Yeah,
with the inflation at that point. They printed 80% of the current supply in the past 2 years, and think that 0.5% or 0.25% is going or whatever basis point is going to actually fix anything. No, 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 no. You need a big sponge to absorb that. And I think when everything collapses here with all this stuff, my opinion is that people are going to rush into the dollar, causing another inflationary moment. They're going to jump out of the stock market and bonds, etc. And then they're going to go, crap, I can't spend this. I can't do anything with it because I'm going to spend 1,000 of it to go buy a loaf of bread. God forbid that happens, but
Yeah.
they're going to jump into the daggum crypto. That's what's going to happen.
Well,
It's the exit strategy.
this is uh, this is why they uh, they are going to jump in to cryptos and even more than cryptos, but actually like tokenized represent uh, tokenized represented value because as this inflation rises and the old world collapses, people are gonna need you shopping utility. Let me put it this way:
Okay.
where you can own a share of Tesla and it is now liquid, where it's linked with a card that you can shop with that equity.
That's what
That
people are. Yeah, that's something that cryptocurrency is. That's why the SEC and whoever else are trying to regulate that. They don't have it. They're trying to fit it in their box that they've already got, and it's not going to fit. And even if they try to build something else or make it something different, it's just not going to fit because it's technology first. First and foremost, everything is crypto related is technology first. Bitcoin just happened to be the first use case to use blockchain technology. Okay, when it comes to how it's got a market aspect to it, like you're talking right now, you can actually go and spend your stocks or your securities, whatever you want to call it. You can spend them as if it's cash. You can
yeah,
trade them like a stock, but at the same time, you can spend that is something fungibility in this aspect.
yes.
You can't do that with the traditional
Everything with
market.
everything with equity will be represented in a token,
Sure.
and you'll actually be able to shop with your home equity. And the
That's
difference,
interesting.
the difference in what has Visa, MasterCard, all these people freaking out is that you'll be able to say you and your wife and one of you lose your job, right?
It's just me.
Instead,
She can't lose hers. That we home educate,
oh,
and she's the one
oh,
that does.
okay, thanks,
She's
Patrick.
the mighty one, if you will.
Love
What's up,
you.
Patrick?
um,
I was gonna
it,
say
it,
my wife's the mighty one. She's the one that does all. She's amazing. She's home education, all that fun stuff. Which is I can't keep up with her. It's amazing.
oh, I hear
Anyway,
you.
sorry.
So let's say uh, there's a husband and wife. They each have a job. One of them loses their job. In the old system, uh, you would float, on credit cards.
Hmm. That's not
Well,
really possible anymore with inflation. You'll load up a credit card in like a month.
plot. That's true, but cryptos allow you to float without loans. If you have a token that represents your home equity, then you don't have to actually pay a lender to loan you against your home equity.
That would be interesting. Have you seen these guys? Proppy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's an
yep,
NFT, purchasing a home via NFT. Take that NFT and do some sort of line of credit with it.
yeah,
It's already kind of there,
yeah.
moving in that direction.
we're we're in a revolutionary period more than anybody understands, and I'm not trying to brag other than I'm extremely attractive is
Yes, you are.
uh, is is I've known what was coming for years. And it
Same
isn't
here.
that I'm more intelligent than anyone else. It's that I applied blockchain and I overlaid it on human nature.
Right, and that is how people will start to, that is how people already interact. And then if you take their commerce and you kind of take it down to that level where they're how the human psyche already interacts with each other, like your friends, you talk and you're everywhere dispersed, but you're not. You keep up with each other and you talk and you communicate and stuff like that. Do that with your commerce. Now you're not wrong, man. This is where it is a revolution in a way of well, the monetary system just disappearing the way it is, the way
Yeah.
everyone knows it for the past more than 100 years, whatever it's been.
He
It's gone.
here here's an idea. I blew a pastor's mind the other day.
I love it when you do that.
All right.
Let's have it.
I'm sitting there talking to him, and I said, look, I could create a your church coin in
Okay.
about
Yep.
5 minutes.
Yep.
All
Hmm.
right. You could make a deal with a local grocery store, and you could say, look, um, we we have this coin. It's solely for our church. Um, would you honor it at $1 each coin? And anyone who pays with this coin, you let me know and you send me the coins they give you, and I will give you $1 value for those.
Nice. That's
Right.
pretty cool. That's a great
And
idea.
he's like, why would I want to do that? I said, because then anybody who needs help, you have a church wallet, you send them on their smartphones some of your church coin, and you go, these are honored at that grocery store right down the road there. Go get you some groceries.
Nice.
You aren't handing them money. They are getting fresh food that you and your church hasn't had to put any labor into. You haven't had to have like a food drive. You haven't had to have any of that church labor involved in it. And they're receiving the freshest food they can get. And you don't have piles of food sitting in the back,
Yep.
slowly running out of freshness
Sure.
time.
That's actually a
And,
really brilliant idea. It won't
and
take
at
much.
the end of it, he's like, so why wouldn't I do this? And
Perfect.
I go, bingo. And that's when it clicked with him. He's like, so I cut out volunteer hours where we could actually put that towards something else.
Sure.
We don't have a back room full of old macaroni and cheese.
Yep.
And if If you've ever been active at a church, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it can be, yeah, very much so. It can be
And
crazy.
and then what if another place who sells shoes, you
Same
know,
thing. Do it
or
for a church.
right,
Make it kind of like a barter system for the churches, specifically just for the local areas of the different areas that need different things, and you get the owners of those stores to actually accommodate that,
yeah,
and then they just that makes sense. It makes
and
complete
then
sense.
you talk to your congregation and you say, "Hey, does anyone want to buy some of these coins?" And it's a tax write-off
Sure,
because you're actually giving them dollars. They're issuing you coins. And before you know it, guess what you've got? You've got a church economy.
that's pretty
How,
cool. I'm going to steal this idea. I hope you know that.
no, absolutely. Go ahead. Then your youth group, guess what? They can earn money at church.
That's kind of a cool way to put it too. Where they can come around and do different things
Yeah.
around the
Say,
church
hey,
doing that. That's it. Yeah, sure.
we will actually pay you blah 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 amount of church coin to help us, whatever. And 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 then you can have a fundraiser uh, uh, for whatever and put the value in coins.
It's
It's
gonna be. I think that's gonna be something that churches probably end up doing here soon because of stuff like this, right?
oh
These
yeah,
are the
absolutely.
numbers for the past 12 months that people are. There's seriously going to be significant issue here real soon. I mean, at home food is at 11.9%. They say
Oh,
this is 8.6%. I don't know how they get that number because even if they added all these up and then divided it by the number, I haven't done it
no,
myself. I don't think it equals that. I mean,
no.
fuel
There,
oil alone, 106%.
right. 106%.
Yeah, and then your gasoline 50 to 48.7%. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
There's I mean, natural gas 30%. This is apparel 5%, new vehicles 12%, used cars. I mean, cereals and Barky products. I don't even know what Barky products are. Anyhow, 11.6%. Meat, eggs, 14.2%. That what you're talking about right now is going to be something I think be that churches end up needing to probably do to actually help out. That's actually not a bad thing. Or just do a nonprofit doing this kind of stuff.
yeah.
You know,
It's this is what I'm trying to tell people
that's
is
your real number, by the way, not 8.6%.
yeah. It's that's why Miami launched the Miami coin.
Yep.
It's you can literally create a currency for uh, any community. I mean, I could hypothetically launch the Bitcoin.
Why don't you?
Nah, I got too much going on. It, it's
As long as you have a liquidity pool of some sort, like you're talking about, like the church or something like that, or you could do a DAO even if you wanted to, where you could actually
yeah,
have it set up specifically to fund a specific thing. Like you were talking about Disney earlier and buying it. Someone mentioned buying it, turning it into like a church retreat place or something like that. I'm like, not a bad idea, but how do you actually value that? And then I was like, well, stand up a DAO and you get the right money in there and you take it over. you
yeah,
know that would work, that kind of stuff. I don't But you can do that in any way. You have a specific fund to fund a specific thing and actually make an impact in the world. And I think that in crypto, like you're talking about churches, but I think it also is bigger than that too. Like we have all these different the minorities, as we've talked about before, with all the LGBTQ2 whatever stuff like that. People like Disney or like all these other corporations, they are catering to those groups, and yet that is like a fraction of a percentage of the amount of people who don't care, but at the same time, if you're rubbing that in everyone else's face, it's like taking them and rubbing their nose in dog shit. At the end of the
it,
day, why? You know, you're screwing yourself. But if you took up a Dow for all these different things that are people need or want, or or like the NFT projects where you go and you have partial ownership of something. I don't know how you would do it. There's got to be a way to do this where you stand it up to where you have multiple funds to do specific things, and then they take control of those different things, and you actually stand up the right values behind whatever it is. So many ways to go about doing that. And you could crypto, like you're saying, we're going to end up in sort of an economy here that we control. It's not controlled by the
yeah,
Federal Reserve. It's not
it,
controlled by we, the people of the world, are going to control these economies. And
yes,
this is how you do
people
it.
have to understand that Trump was right. Globalism is dead. Globalism, it isn't that they even have a chance.
They don't.
They are being moved out through honest competition. There's decentralization always wins. Always wins. All right. We see it in nature. All right.
It is.
The
In everything,
strongest,
everything.
the strongest thing in nature is water.
Yep. I was going to say wind as well. I think they're
Right.
pretty comparable, and it's everywhere.
Yeah. It will slowly erode anything that tries to. You can't trap water
Nope.
that well.
You
It's
can't hold it in your hand.
right.
Can't hold
And
wind in your hand.
if when you try and trap water, water will find its way out either through leaking or through evaporation, or just wait and something will happen and water will be released. It's it's that's decentral. Nature is decentralizing. The
Yep.
universe is decentralizing. Everything decentralizes because centralization
It kills it. It destroys it.
kills. Yes,
Water
it,
sitting still goes stagnant and becomes poison. Stuff
bingo.
like that. It's just the
It's
same thing.
why it's why smaller trees grow
Yeah.
this way so they can get sun past the bigger trees.
Yep.
They are decentralizing out. It, if you want to fail, go against nature. If you want to succeed, work with nature. Nature rewards participation. Always.
Yeah.
It's
Thinking of a participation, Busy Mountain, you've got a really good, interesting point there. Go stand up a Dow. We need to figure out how to fund farming and ranching. Stand up a Dow. You can stand up a Dow. Anyone can stand up a Dow. Launch it.
yeah,
Go fund it. It will work.
yeah,
This is
and
this is the way we're going.
it's mark my words. There will be a African American currency. There
I'm
will
sure there's
be
going to be one for every single everything. Yeah.
right, and those who agree with the culture of the currency will use that currency.
Sure.
That's that's why every single person I've ever met face to face and had time to talk to them that were a purist on like Bitcoin
Whatever it
and
is.
they're
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a maximist.
the maxis. Yeah.
Like you give me a half hour with a maxi and they're no longer a maxi.
Yeah. When I was at Bitcoin 2022, I walked up and I shook, what's his name? The bald guy on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful,
Oh
Kevin
yeah.
O'Leary. I shook his hand and met him and was like, look, you're the only person out here on the platform saying that this is technology first, that you're talking about things like Matic and or Polygon, and you're talking about the other coins that are actual businesses solving real world problems. And you got other people out there, they're just maxis and they're only talking about just the Bitcoin. And I'm like, thank you. And don't stop because you're not wrong. Saying
Yeah.
something like, he was like, thanks. I was like, I've been in this a long time, like almost since the beginning. You're not wrong and you need to keep saying what you're saying. He's like, thank you. He's like, stick around. I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. And then he got bombarded and security escorted him out. And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
It's 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 this revolution that it I can't even say it's a revolution more than it is a shift in paradigm.
I was going to say a paradigm shift in every way because for the past, any and everyone who's alive right now has had the banking system that we've had now. No one alive knows what it was like prior to what we have from a banking system as it is now, or e-commerce or
Right.
commerce in general. No one alive right now does that, and now we're shifting back into that almost not quite barter system, but an honest decentralization of the commerce globally. But it's global. This is also, it's not global, but it is, because if you want to go spend Bitcoin in Italy and you can spend Bitcoin in the US, you're still using the same currency,
Yeah.
but it's not the dollar. It's not controlled by a centralized location. It is everywhere and yet nowhere. And that's the coolest thing about this is it is, I'll say, globalization for and by the people and of the people instead of
Yeah.
each individual sovereign
It
nation saying
is
we're going to control all
de-
this stuff. Yeah,
it is decentralized globalization.
basically, we're going to end up having, that is the shift, the paradigm shift we're going into.
Yeah, and he, there's a reason that I try and I yell it from the mountains. Come to a founders event. Join the founders group because what we are creating is a group of entrepreneurs and investors that are going to work together to grow our group. And we will work with other groups across the world who share in our values, and we will do business with people who have have overlapping values. Here's
Sure.
an example. All right. Say I'm in the founders group and you're in the founders group. And uh, I'm also a member of my church.
Hmm.
And you're also a member of your church.
Hmm.
Well, I don't go to your church and you don't go to my church. We're two separate religions, or however,
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
right?
same thing, but yeah.
But yet we are networked together with intertwining, environments, and each one of those environments will have some type of tokenization or exposure to cryptos. Like my church may have like my church coin.
Mhm.
Your church may have your church coin. And but then you and I we'll have uh, we'll actually be part of the founders group, which means we'll have a tokenized, share of the founders group. And so that overlapping, that every single one of these tokens will be exchangeable for others.
Technically, if you are in any way tied to or exchangeable into Ethereum or Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever else, yes, you could effectively do that. That would make
Yeah,
it would make sense. Yeah.
let's say you own a grocery store and you launch a Joe's grocery store token,
Hmm.
and you it init- it initially launches off as a rewards program. Then,
Yeah.
as the distribution of the coin grows around your area, then all of a sudden, guess what? People are swapping your coins for getting their lawn mowed.
Sure. You
You know,
create a decentralized economy in and of itself
right?
right in your local town. Yeah.
And
I haven't done it yet, but it's on my list to do. And part of the reason I haven't done it is because, well, I am so busy right now that if I added another thing to my plate, and I
that's
want to
what
go to the
I'm
local,
saying.
I want to go to
But
the local cities right around here. I've got 5 or 6 of them, and they're all very big and wanting to know about crypto. Like, what's the local economy? Well, you've mentioned it before. Go to your local
Chamber of Commerce.
chamber of commerce, yeah, and then just go in and just be like, look, I do crypto stuff. Anyone who wants to learn or do anything about crypto, come. I haven't done any of that or haven't gone out. Hey, we need to stand up a coin specifically for this
If
city,
you're already busy, don't do it.
right?
Because as soon as I I I have done a few of those, and you get swapped
Sure,
with people.
I'm
And
sure.
it's once you explain it and once they get it, you're done. You will be, and that's why I tell people, which I'm, uh, are you a member of the action? I think you're an actual member of the founders.
I think, yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Somehow,
yeah.
there's a whole, yeah, from the
So
earlier ones, yeah.
you'll have a link when if you haven't logged on and actually gotten your link yet.
Probably not.
But
I'm just so busy, man.
no, no, no. This is an easy way of making money and rewarding your community. You log on to the Founders Group website. You get your link. You share your link. Other people join the Founders Group. And what we are is we're a group of entrepreneurs who go out and we do these things with you know local grocery stores or churches or whatever like that. And we show you how to do that.
Sure.
Once you there's a reason you and I are so busy, because we are applying what we are teaching people
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
founders group.
We're not just out here talking, hey, you can do X, Y, and Z. Some of us are actually like the stuff that I talk about in the show here, they talk about do it, especially in the Patreon and some other stuff that is going
Yeah,
on. I have some projects on my plate right now and I'm trying to work through it. I'm going,
and
how in the world? Yeah.
Papa Joe, if you used your founders group link and you
Hmm.
put it under your video and you said, hey, come to one of the founders group events or
Hmm.
watch it on Zoom.
Hmm.
Here's my link. Sign up.
Hmm.
You receive $100
Sure.
for them using your link.
Sure.
So,
Anyone could do that technically if you're a part of the founders group. Is what you're saying.
yep,
Okay.
you're helping the group grow. You're getting rewarded for your efforts, and everyone wins because then whoever goes to the event and joins the founders group, they get a link too.
That's kind of what we do with the crypto confidential stuff. Is it's you use that link that's scrolling on the screen or in the description of the video, and what it does is it basically everyone gets rewarded, and you're inside of an education. It's the same. It's very similar. Very similar
Yeah,
setup. Yeah.
and that's the future.
Yep.
People are going to make residual income
Just by doing something like that. Yeah, it makes
just
sense.
by sharing links.
Yep. It makes sense if you get in there and you do that kind of stuff. That's kind of what we were talking, going back to like the DAOs for the farming or the DAOs for the churches or the coins or whatnot you're mentioning. You go do something like that and then you advertise it like this, and you can end up going and having an entire economy that's separate, that's supported for that whatever. It basically it becomes that nonprofit type of thing, or if it is for a for-profit, whatever,
Yeah,
it becomes a way for you to build a residual income. Right.
a grocery store is a perfect example where if, all right, you have an app, the app is also a wallet, all right?
Sure.
The wallet holds the uh, coins for the grocery store. You see a coupon in the app, you share it with your daughter because she likes that flavor of, cereal or
Or
something.
whatever it is. Yeah.
So she clicks that link, she downloads the grocery store's app. You get rewarded in the token of the grocery store for a percentage of what she shops
Huh.
for the
That'd be
rest,
an interesting.
but as long as she shops at that store using the app, you receive a fraction of what she shops for each time.
It's like
It-
that happens in all. You can do that with your Publixes, your Chick-fil-A's, wherever they already have that app where you scan it and you earn
right
points. It's the same
now,
thing. Same thing.
now add the reward system
Hmm.
and add multi-layer rewards, where then your daughter shares a coupon with her girlfriend because she can save $1 on a certain fruit juice. She downloads the app. Then all of a sudden, your daughter makes a percentage of everything her friend shops for using the app. But then you also make a smaller percentage.
Sure. You basically like, I don't want to say multi-level marketing, but effectively kind of but a built-in method of it,
Right. It multi level marketing was a scam until blockchain.
which causes and forces the transparency pieces of it. Right.
Bingo.
Right.
Now multi-level marketing is a legitimate marketing technique
Sure.
because
And it is
now,
another, as long as you're selling, so they work like Robert Kiyosaki talks about this often. Like he gets into these things, but only if they're selling something, if there's actual product or
yes,
an actual
there's a
something. Right.
product,
Right. And
right?
it works in those scenarios. And in this case, if you have add blockchain, it makes sense. Makes complete sense.
Yeah,
You can keep track
absolutely.
of everything.
And the grocery store wants wants to have, this is why places are hiring people like me to explain to them that I can generate a system where your best salespeople are your clients because you are monet you are monetizing word of mouth.
Sure. That is a very interesting way to put that. That is technically what it is.
Yeah, that's
I like
all it
your
is.
example.
And once you put that into their brain, they
They get
go,
it. I'm gonna
I
tell someone
got
about this anyways. I might as well give them a link and make some money
right.
out of it. Yeah.
Then how much do you think that a local grocery store would pay you, Papa Joe, to create or integrate that into their existing app?
Probably a
A shit
significant penny.
ton.
Yeah. Probably
Trust
probably
me.
significant amount of money.
Right? Because all of a sudden, every client they have is their biggest sales person. Because
Sure.
every client gets paid to help the company grow. It's every client is a shareholder in your company. And
Sure.
that's the structure we built with the founders group.
Sure.
Every founder is a shareholder of the group. As the group grows, the value the value of the network grows, and the education and the networking value of the group rewards everyone who participates in it.
That kind of makes sense, man. You're
Right.
trying to.
This is why I tell everybody if it if you haven't joined the founders group, stay broke.
Interesting.
If you want to make money, join the founders group. Don't sit there and go, "Psst, everybody's making money but me." Oh yeah? Well, get the fuck off your ass and fucking
And have fun.
join. Jo- Where the hell am I?
Yeah, you're on the other side. Yep.
Join the new rich revolution. You know the hardest part? Getting off your ass and joining.
Sure. Well, that's the thing is right now is if it costs them money to do it, that's the other thing is if you can figure out a way to get it to them or get it in their hands for free, not necessarily free, but like some sort of like you do this and you get your money back kind of thing. That equals a lot. And the reason I'm saying this is because of this stuff. Because
Yeah,
people are actually having a hard time even buying food and groceries. Yes, it may make them money, yes, and whatnot. But if there's another way to actually get it in their hands for lower, cheaper, whatever you want to call it, or they can get their money back, etc., that matters right now to a lot of
yes.
people.
That's
Whoops, wrong button. Sorry.
oh, that's right. That's why the founders group and like I said, if you don't need the founders group, if you already understand what I'm saying, then
Right.
create your own. Go out there and, like I've said, go out there and if you've got the knowledge, do it.
Sure.
But if you don't have the knowledge, join the founders group. That's what we do
Sure.
is we help you get the knowledge and the structure to go out there and get in front of the Chamber of Commerce and go, I can build you an app that
Or
will do
anything,
this.
or get you to connected the dots connected, architect
Right,
something. Yes, that's something that's my wheelhouse, and that's something I just right now like I have a project on my plate. I can't talk. Well, I'm under NDA with it and everything,
right.
but if all goes according to plan with that one, I'll be able to put some stuff down and be able to
Yeah,
move and do different things and whatnot. But until those things happen, I'm gonna leave it alone and let it kind of do what it's gonna do, kind of for now. Until then, you know.
yeah.
But
Inflation right now is
it's
hampering a lot of people.
everything.
Hey, I'm very blessed.
Yes, you are.
I I'm going into this inflationary period with an advantage of my knowledge and the advantage of being able to have the capital to do this.
A lot of people aren't. There's a lot of
Right.
people
A
who
lot.
are, but there's a lot of people who aren't. And it's just kind of
Right.
like, yeah,
Those of us, if you've got the capital to do it, the opportunities are screaming at you. Anybody who's ever ran a business
yep,
or anything, you understand that opportunity is never free.
nope,
Ever.
it isn't. And it usually costs something to get there, but you have
Right.
the risk reward, whatever you want to call it. You have
If
to understand that. Yeah.
if you want to open a company cutting grass, you're not using a pair of scissors.
Nope. You got to go buy the lawnmower. You got to pay for
You
the
got to
gas,
get the
etc. Yep.
lawnmower. You got to get it all set up.
I mean, one of the reasons I started my company was like, I know how to do this stuff. I might as well do this. You
Bingo.
encouraged me to do the show and stuff like that. You're the reason, one of the reasons. Well, my wife was like, okay, you need to really do a show. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things. Is like you have to put the effort out there on top of, and some of it is not cheap. Some of this stuff isn't cheap. I mean, everything costs something, and you got to put it out there. It makes sense. So you're saying, and that's kind of, you want to get the education, things like that. Join the different groups, whatever you want to call them, and get out there and educate yourself. Once you've
Yeah.
learned and you feel like you've
The,
educated yourself, then you go do those kind of things. But don't
exactly.
do it without learning first.
Papa show wouldn't be anything if Papa Joe didn't know.
Papa Joe actually does. No, I do. I really do
Exactly.
know this
That's
stuff.
why the Papa Joe show has value. It's because Papa Joe knows.
Yes,
If
sir.
Papa Joe didn't know, Papa Joe wouldn't have a show. There's a
No,
little tongue twister.
there you go. There's a tongue twister. I'm gonna clip that little thing and share it out.
It's it's know your value
Yep. If you don't know your
and do
value,
it.
you need to. If you don't know your value and you don't know, if you don't know your value, you don't know how to. I don't want to say capitalize on it, but if you don't know how to prove that to the world, then you need to figure that out.
Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, when I was younger, I was looking for a job and I went on a job site. And this was a union job. I
Mhm.
was not part of the union yet. So I walked on, I met the owner, and I said, look, I'll tell you what, let me work till Friday. If you ain't happy with what I do, you don't have to pay me for the whole week. I said, but if you are, then you hire me, you pay me, we move on from there, and we see how it goes. I said, but if you don't like me, let let me know Friday, and I'll leave. Okay.
Okay.
So I worked all week. On Friday, I walked over to him. I said, will I see you Monday? He goes, yep. I said, all right.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
got the job. Prove your worth before you ask for money.
Every single time, you have to. That's kind of why, like, with Aster Blockchain Consulting, with the show, with the other things I'm doing, um, bringing a lot to the table because I have had the experience and the know-how, and it's not a little bit, but you have to know where you've been. You have to understand what you know, what you understand. If you don't understand if you don't understand something, be okay to say, I don't understand that, and trust the people you're working with to either educate you on that or go and trust them to be okay with you not knowing and let them handle the things that you don't know.
Yeah,
That though, like I mentioned before earlier, I don't like to code, but I understand enough about it to sit there and go, hey, a developer, you love this stuff. You eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. You have fun with this. I need this done. And I need it done
yep.
this way and this, and it needs to be to do all these different things.
Here's here's your Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Here's your Hot Pockets.
Yep.
Now
So yeah.
go code.
But if you need to know your limits, but at the same time you need to know what your value is. You're completely
Yeah.
right for sure. So
All right, brother. I hate
yes,
to
sir.
do this,
No, me too. I was
but
about to
I
say
got
I
to
got it.
run out.
I was about to say I am definitely at time for I've got some meetings and stuff going on. So throw your stuff out real quick so everyone in my circle can figure out where you are and whatnot. You've got your show that you do here on YouTube, and then you've got what else you got going on?
I'm all. If you want everything I put out, the easiest thing would actually be Patreon.
Okay, so
It,
join his Patreon.
the, it's only like $5 a month,
Yep, same where I
and
put mine.
every video, every interview I do, I'll have this over on my Patreon, and Patreon helps us all because especially if you want to communicate with us. If you want
Yeah,
to reach out and say, I want to go talk to Papa Joe, the only way you're going to know it's Papa Joe is on Patreon.
that
He-
is one way. I also have a website stood up as well
yeah,
that I tell people to go to
with
that
me,
has that.
the only way that people can really get a hold of me is actually through Patreon because I don't. Uh, there's so many people pretending to be me
I've
that
had that recently
Patreon.
too. It's one of those. Ugh. No,
There's there's about 3 or 4 freaking Papa Joes out there.
yeah, I know. It's very frustrating. That's why I tell people. For me, I tell them to just. It's linked in the description of the video. There's a reason it's linked in the description of the video. It's the website. It's got all of
Yep.
my actual socials on it. It's got videos, stuff like that on there, events coming up, all that fun stuff. But Ben's stuff, go to his Patreon, check it out, give it a join if you're not already part of it. And yeah, good stuff,
Uh,
guys. Good stuff. Ben,
love
thanks for
you,
coming
brother.
on, brother. I appreciate it. Love you. And thanks again for being here. Guys and
Uh,
gals, smash. Go ahead.
remind me next week. I actually want to have you on my show.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll ping you Friday, I guess. Or you want to do it Friday? Or you
Yeah,
want to do it some other
yeah,
time? All right, cool. We'll do it
yeah.
Friday. All right, brother. I'll plan on it. See ya. You guys
All
and
right,
gals,
bye.
smash the likes. See you later.